Thank you a lot. Okay, I brought tons of slides because I love particularly X25, and I will try to explain you in the next hour what X25 is and why we should still in this year, in 2005, talk about a network that basically has been built in the 70s, so it should be old, it should be died. There should be only internet issues, internet security issues, but I will show you that this is not true. So, as my title say, I will talk also you about real life and field experience. I mean, at the end of the presentation, I will show you true things and not only the theory of the X25 stuff. I got a big disclaimer because I learned from my friend Emmanuel Gedeix from TSTF that these disclaimers are so important as well. Also Jim knows that disclaimers are important, don't you? So, to be clear, in this speech I will not cover the technical theories of X25. I will give you a quick overview, but this is the business tracks, so we are not going into the technical details, and this is intentional. We do absolutely recommend you to not use this material for hacking into government stuff or other targets. Why I'm telling you this? Because nowadays, as I will explain to you, on X25 you will only find high-level targets. I mean, you will not find your local ISP or Pizza Hut shop. Maybe you would be able to find a Pizza Hut headquarters as well. So we can for sure be responsible if you decide to get into these exciting words, and you will get busted. I hope not for you. I want also to point out that anything that is contained in this presentation does not infringe or should not, as far as I know, any legislations or law. And I would also like to point you out that you will see many X25 addresses. To be clear, an X25 address is the same thing of an IP address as a concept, and all of them may be sometimes real or sometimes obfuscated or fake. It depends, and I will tell you in details in each case. What else? Well, all the trademarks are registered to the owners, so the Cisco guys, they won't see you on me. Agenda. A short intro about TSF and myself, and then I'm going to start. So, a short overview about X25, as I was telling you how it works, understanding what does it mean an NUA and a DNIC. History is so important to understand X25. Why? Because we are talking about technology that, as I told you, started back in the 60s and the 70s. So this means that we have at least 20-25 years of history that teach us the wrong and the cool things. Then I decided to bring exclusively for Hack in the Box some really cool evidences. All the evidence that I will show to you does not came from hacking, but they came from professional pen testing, except for a couple, and I will underline that are from hacking intrusions. Then we chart the difference between X25 and the internet. They're really a lot, and I will explain to you. And even the attackers typologies are completely different from the internet ones. Conclusions, questions, answer, and the nightmare will be over. Let us start the nightmare. TSTF, who are we? Telecom Security Task Force. We are funded by professionals and specialists. We are not a company, we are not the common staff, we are just a bunch of friends all around the world that loves telecommunication security. We are located in Asia, Europe, and USA as well. And one time, me and Emmanuel and Philippe Gadouin, we tried to put together all of our know-how, and we discovered that we got 30 years in TLC experiences and 50 altogether in the security field, and that's a lot. We love to say that we got a unique view on telco security. Why? Because we grew up with the telcos. We built the telcos, we test the telco, we consult to the telco. So I do really think that a few guys, or maybe nobody, is able to do that in this way. What else can I point you out from here? Talking about X25, we specifically know slang terms, the device, and all the techniques. And the final thing about TSTF, we are self-funded. We don't run business scans around, and no venture capitals at all, thanks God. About me. As Amy introduced me, I had my hacking experience from 1986 when I was 13 years old, and now I'm 32 right now, up to 95. I stopped in 95 not because I specifically enjoyed that year, but because on that year, Criminal Pol, that is Italian Computer Police, and Interpol, that as you may know is the international regulation that makes the police from more countries talk each other, and the FBI, they decided that I was doing too much maybe, so they decided to stop me, and it was the 13th of December of 95, the worst day of all my life. And the operation was called Ice Trap because we've been able, among the other things, to get into some don't love place, some ice cream company, and so the police has been so smart to call the operation Ice Trap. So from where I became an ethical hacker, I grew up, as Anthony also he said when he was talking about his past. You can't play for all of your life. When you are a teenager is okay, you do the wrong things and you understand and you pay and then you grow up. Actually, I'm a professional penetration tester since '96, so it's just nine years that I do pen testing, and I've seen, as many of you, many things. Also, key contributor to the OSDEM. I don't know if you know the OSDEM, but I would like to point you out. OSDEM is an open source project by isecom.org, and is a security testing methodology. So, in my personal opinion, the OSDEM has been able to bring the professionalism that was missing into the security testing and pen testing field. I'm also board of directors member in some stuff. So, for example, of course, in TSDF, in NISECOM, as I mentioned to you, CLUSIT is the Italian Computer Security Association, and we are doing a lot of awareness. And OWASP as well, I'm into the Italian chapter. So, X25 is used in packet switch network, as you may read, and it has been designed in '64, so we are talking about that technology of the half of the 60 by Paul Barron, again, always him, and the RAND Corporation. To do what? To be able to let the private companies and government companies to talk each other over data networks. You may answer to me, and the internet at that time was under design, was under development, but most of all the internet was only, as you may well know, for some specific United States of America institutions after they came for the university, but we had to wait until the 90s to add the internet for commercial use. So from the 70s to the 2000 year or to the 90s, how could a private company connect worldwide? Just using X25. So the idea was to connect a stupid terminal, like a VDT100, let me say, to a worldwide packet switch data network. The last thing is X25 has been created by E2, International Communication Union. They are based in Geneva, in Switzerland. And before E2, the old name of E2 was CCITT. Is in French. I don't remember the full acronym, but it should be something like Commission Créative Internationale de Téléphone et de Télégraphe, or something like that. Why are we talking today in 2005 about X25 security if the technology is so old? All of this speech is, it comes from personal know-how, or even other, or companies, international research or whatever, when we do, as I told you, professional pen testing over IP, X25, .NET, and other networks. When we were doing this kind of job in the 90s, we discovered that there are still a huge number of security holes in the infrastructure we were trying to test. To give you some ideas, the 90% of them, when they had an X25 link, was fully unsecured and unprotected. So it's like, I will explain you later, but the analogy could be that in a company you got the internet backbone, and you got IDS, you got the firewalls, you got everything, and they invest tons of money, but they forgot about the old things that are still there in a corner. So we kept on to pen testing as the SDF and as my company as well, and we kept on to find open doors forgotten by somebody. The bad thing is that when you have a forgotten door on X25, it is usually a big breach that brings you straight to the core of the company. So you don't care about the firewalls again, you don't care about the IDS, because you are on the way back, in the back garden. Also today, they still keep on to launch new services and new connection of X25, even if you can't even think about it. So now we are in 2005, and there are still new breaches upcoming. So what is X25? As I told you, is an international packet-rich data network. And to give you an analogy again, the model is very similar to the PSTN, to the public switch telephone network. Talking a bit on the tech point of view, we got three main kind of type of packet: the data packet, the control, and the facilities. I will have a specific slide about the facilities packet type, because it's one of the field where you can play more as an X25 attacker. There are many acronyms that stands for international standard defined by E2. So we got X25, but we got as well X29, that is just the client-side capability of making an X25 call. We have X28 that, as I will explain you after, is the how to connect via a dial-up over a PSTN or an SDL line to the X25 worldwide network. X75 and X121, there are the protocol specific for international X25 links. So X25 has been, as far as I know, the first global commercial data network, because, as I was telling you, the internet was only available for other kind of things. Even today, let's say in the 90s, the company, they started to move to the internet, but they didn't close their X25 access and contracts with the telcos. Why? We have many regions. First, because maybe they forgot. Second, because the sysadmin they have changed, and the young ones, they don't know about these kind of things. Third, because there are a lot of services that can't be moved from X25 to IP in this way. I would mention to you ATM stuff, CDR stuff, SMS, and other things that I will show you. Also, we are talking about the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. So we have the monopoly in many countries around, and this means that the X25 networks of each country were mainly owned by the national telecom operator at the time. Actually, the key clients are multinationals for sure, governments, and small companies, let's say small and medium enterprises. I go to a shop, buy with my ITM or my Visa card something, and the boss will do a PSTN, for example, call to the HQ of a Visa corporation or whatever to check if my card is okay, and then they will stop the call. PVC, let's say that there is an HQ and two branches of the company, and they are always connected each other, they never disconnect the line. On X25, the billing is only regarding the traffic. X25 billing doesn't care about the time. And this is very useful for hackers, of course, because they don't have to get scared that there will be too much on a client because they hang on the system for 3 hours or 3 days. Also, on X25, it's not sure that X25 is the main protocol at the end. You can run on X25 many stuff. The more typical are, of course, host-to-host, SNA for the banks as well, or proprietary stuff. But I've seen also, it happened also to me to pen test X25 system that were the ancient of voice over IP, the testers, or to have a Kermit file transfer or whatever. All the major OS, we can tell about Sun Solaris, HP UX, Bullpads and whatever, or Linux VMS, SA400, all the old stuff, or the unknown system that is so common to find on the X25, they have their internal pad. The pad is the packet assembling, disassembling capability, and it is, let me say, the X25 client on one side. This is a short example that I get from the Cisco guys, and here we have, for example, the X2025 outgoing backbone. So it's easy to give an idea understandable to everybody. As you may see, X25 is interested only in level 1, level 2, and 3. I will run on this because we are in the business track. So just to give you the idea again, there we have the data link layer, and downstairs the network layer. One important thing is here that since E2 defined the X1-to-1 international data links, all the X25 routing is based on E2 specifications. So, I zoom on X25 user facilities because they can be the one where an hacker could be able to play. For example, if we talk about a NUI, what is a NUI? I will explain you after, but a NUI is the network user identification. So, if you don't have a dedicated X25 link, you may still be able to connect to an X25 network via PSTN or ISDN. But the dial-up will answer you, will ask you for a user identification on which bill all the stuff you are going to do. RAW is not so interesting, but for example is an analogy with the IP word, and another analogy is with the PSTN. If we call about caller radio redirection, it's possible to call a NUA, let me say 1, 2, 3, 4, and to find yourself connected to another NUA in another country also maybe, and this is the caller radio redirection. It is very common in Australia and Asia, for example. Hunt group is like in the PBX or in the telephone environment where you call a phone number and the number is busy, but automatically it will try to select and balance all the other calls to give you an answer anyway. And the mnemonic codes are so funny, and I will also show to you, because in some countries, like for example in the United States of America, if we talk about Sprintnet, they don't use noise so much, but they use a mnemonic code. A mnemonic code, to give you the idea, is that I connect to the Sprintnet dial-up, and instead of inserting a very strange NUI code that is hard to remember also for the employees, I will just write down AT&T, and it will connect me to the AT&T X25 address assigned to that specific mnemonic code. We do have many ways of accessing X25, but before, let's talk about the networks that we are able to find. I categorize them in some categories. So we have the worldwide Net MCI, or it was known as Telenet, SITA, that is the Société Internationale de Travaux Aeronautique. It means international company for air stuff, and SITA, for example, is the worldwide company that they manage the connection in all the airports of the world. We excuse me. We have the big ones, British Telecom Tymenet, AT&T with Accunet, DataXP in Germany, Cable and Wireless all around Asia. And those are the most famous and known because they are so widespread and so they have been hacked so much in the past. We have the PAC ones. Itapac is from Italy, Transpac is from France, Iberpac is from Spain, and so on, and MyPac is from Malaysia. And then the Net 1, Israelnet, PACnet, that's from Taiwan, WASNet is from Russia, and so on. We have many ways of accessing to X25, and it can be legally or not, of course. So you may be full of money and you buy your leased X25 line. So as I explained to you before, you are always connected to X25. Or you could dial up via PSTN to the dial up and having your NUI or still a NUI. Insert your NUI, insert the X25 address of the system you want to get connected to, and there you go. But there are also a lot of dial-up on toll-free. So this is a good news for an hacker, since he will not pay the phone call, the original phone call. Everything is toll-free, and it may be also useful to build an automated NUI scanner to be able to find other NUIs to abuse or use. Then we have what I call official Internet to X25 gateways. They are not so common anymore, but in the past it was pretty easy to find around free systems that were able to bridge you from X25 to the internet or vice versa as well. And then attackers could of course have hacked system that links again both to the two networks, or we can also have X25 over TCP/IP XOT as an RFC. Then, of course, all the attackers can use outdials, calling card, or hacked PBX to call their own X28 dial-up path. If they do in this way, to do a backtracing operation, of course, is not so easy, because when the authorities they will try to backtrace, they will go back to an abused PBX or just as a calling card or other companies' PSTN lines. And the funny thing is that it's possible I could use a NUI from Malaysia, if I have it, even if I am from Italy. So the only problem, of course, would be the international phone call. But again, a calling card could be okay to fix this issue. X25 addressing is nice to understand. As I told you, NUA, network user address, can be linked to one single system, but there are some networks where if you just change the DNIC and the rest of the NUA it remains the same, you will be connected to the same system, even if it is in the US or in Saudi Arabia, let me say. Monica, I gave you also some hints, but mnemonics are so common on TimeNet, on SprintNet, AutoNet as well, and there are all American X25 networks. If you have still an X28 access, you could try to call this NUA. This is from the American TimeNet gateway, and you will see that he will ask you where do you want to be connected to. So the DNIC is nothing more than the international code for a specific country. So the DNIC is 3 digits, and then we have one more that identifies the X25 network instead into the specific country. So, for example, 311 is from the United States of America, 0 is for SprintNet, 212 is from the Arrow, New York, and the final X25 address is 10126. The same thing in Cyprus. They decided to use the area code of Limassol, that's a town over there, in order to have the AC. So E2 decided to share the world into 7 main areas. As you will see, the most that I think is Zone 1. Zone 1 is the 4 X25 networks that manages the ocean, so Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Oceans. 2 is for Europe and a part of the formerly Soviet Union. 3 basically is for North America, Central America and the Caribbean area. 4 is all used for Asia, 5 for Oceania, and 6 is for Africa. The 7-1, it shared again about a part of South America, a part of Caribbean and Central America. Why it is so important? Because if you learn this thing, you will be able to identify in which country a NUA belongs to in 2 seconds and no more. I've brought also some DNIC to show to you and to try to demonstrate that we are talking about a completely different thing from the internet. So this is I'm going to show you 3 extracts from the EU official documentation as of year 2003, and they publish all the DNIC of the countries worldwide. So, for example, if we talk about we have Indonesia over here, we have Inmarsat, as I was telling to you, the 3 oceans. In Italy, it is curious to notice that at the beginning we only had 222, is for Italy also, always, and the final 2 it was for Itapac. Why? Because at that time Italy was under the telephone monopoly, so only the national telecom company was able to have their own X25 network. After the regulation, other telecom companies they started to ask to ITU for their own X25 network. So we can see Unisource, Infostrada, and Wayne that are other 3 players. It may be also useful for you to notify how in a country highly technical developed as it is in Japan, that they have more and more networks around, and also for example, each big Japanese multinational, as can it be Fujitsu, Hitachi, Toshiba, and so on, they have their own worldwide X25 corporate network around. Australia is a strange case because they decided, as you may see, that the NIC is always here, 505, and then they decided to add more digits to share around the other telephone carriers. But I've been amazed when I've seen that the Australian Department of Defense, it is on X25 on a specific area. This means, in a few words, that to be able to find some government system from the Australian Department of Defense, in my opinion, it should take just 1 or 2 days to scan for X25 address in this specific area. 3, US are the most funny to me because they don't have a telephone monopoly, of course. They are free market since the 80s, so they got a lot of telecommunications company that run their own network over there. But we have also multinational, as it can be for Schlumberger, but we may also have some kind of spy game enjoying, because we have the United States Department Diplomatic Telecommunications Service that is called Black Packet SDN. And this can recall a little bit spying games and enjoying of this kind. Or also we have, as 3166, the United States of America Department of Treasury Wide Area Network. This means that it connects all the departments in all the United States of America, and maybe also abroad. Malaysian example, you do also have the main one that is 5021, and this my pack, but as well you also have others is 25 network here. So, some homework now. Let's say that we are a company based in Italy, in Torino, and we have some more branch in Genoa, in Milan, and in Bologna. All of them could be connected via Italy is 25, so again is 222, and 2 for Itapac, so 2222. And all of them will have an assigned X25 address, as we may see. For Torino, it will be 2111222878, and so on. Let me try to explain you the syntax over here. So we have the international address for the Torino HQ. It will be 0 because it's from external, so it's international. 222 for Italy is 25, 2 for Itapac, and then 11 is the area code in Torino, and the 2228778 is the end part of the X25 international and national as well address. So we call it also DCC or NPA. NPA is the end of the part of the address, and the DCC is the international DNAC without the Itapac specification. But if we are also, for example, a rather winery in Rome, and we have to connect all our down the city of Rome to our HQ, we will have a nice toll-free number to call, and maybe we could be able over X28 to ask for a reverse X25 call. So we don't need a NUI, we don't pay for the line because it's a toll-free, and the system that we are going to call will pay for our connection. It's the same as the as a called call in the PSTN world. Talking about now the US, we can have a branch also in Dallas, in Miami, in LA, and in New York, but everything will be on Perinet. That is the American one of the US is 25 network. So all the address will belonging, of course, to Sprint. And this is the way the Italian corporate one and the USA corporate one will be able to talk each other via X75, that, as I told you, is the international standard to make two different X25 networks talk each other. But also in the US we could have a rather one runner at his own, and he will be able to call a dial-up toll-free or not, and to insert his NUI or calling in a reverse charge mode and connect to my Miami office, for example. The other side is the egg work. I've identified to you all the attack points that could be in this kind of environment. So starting from the left, an attacker could decide to call the toll-free number and just scan nuance until he finds a reverse charge system that is able to accept his phone call, or also via a direct PSDN, so we will abuse of the NUIs, of the NUIs, or as well hacking via XOT, X25 over TCP/IP, because in the last 8 years, let me say, many companies, they are trying to move from the X25 to the IP, but it's not so easy, as I told you. So they are trying to fix with some tricks, and they put XOT and IP. Okay, is it clear to you? Then, war games. Do you remember this nice movie or the Bound? Actually, I saw War Games when I was, I think, 11 years old, and I fell in love for the girl so much. Seeing her now, she's not so cute, but I was a kiddo, so. But in war games, I mostly fall in love for this, for the war dialing of war games. Now, it may be a mess to you that it is so easy to understand X25 scanning, because it's the same idea of the PSTN war dialing. So, to be clear, This is a true scan in C plus limassol that it's an old log from year 94. As you can see, we have the Ministry of Health of this government on X25. I don't think I have to explain you what may happen if a bad guy will enter into the Ministry of Health. It means shit. But also we are able to find banks, we are able to find pagers as well, or Cisco routers, all of this. To give you some more hints, when we have CLR OK, it means that the nowhere we are trying to call is busy, so probably they only have one virtual logical channel that it's already engaged to a data call with somebody else. Or if we have a CLR DTE, it means it means that it's like a firewall, or let me say a TCP wrapper. It means that the called system doesn't accept a call from our address, and we can investigate furthermore to understand why they don't accept our call. Another nice scan, this is from Canada, if I don't remember bad, in the Ontario area. And again, you can see that we can find some banks, we can find Sun OS, even if they're very old at the time. Who knows what this system is? MPX, do you know it? No? MPX is the HP3000, is a very old system from Hewlett-Packard, and if I don't remember bad, the syntax login was something like hello, username, and common password. So, some to say history to explain to you why we should learn from the past. Is there somebody in this auditorium that knows a book that is called The Cuckoo's Egg? Okay, in The Cuckoo's Egg is a book from 1985 or 86, I think, and there was a true history of international espionage. It means that some guys from the CCC, from the Chaos Computer Club, they were specifically Pengo and Akbert, they have been paid by the KGB, the Russian spy agency, in order to attack to USA government contractors and steal secret stuff. The funny thing is that actually the KGB didn't understood so much about these things, and the CCC guys, they were able, okay, also to attack to the US, but also to take some free documents and being able to sell them to KGB as a very high reserved secret stuff. They were smart a lot. In '89 it happened the scandal when some Australian from Melbourne have been able to hack into Citibank Saudi Arabia, and they steal millions and millions of credit cards, not only from Saudi Arabia, of course, but belonging to all the Citibank clients around. In the 90 also it happened that the mod and the law, they had fight each other, and for reasons that even today has to be cleared, the United States of America AT&T backbone shut off. So it means that from New York to Los Angeles, it was not possible to make an international call. Can you understand what is the amount of the damage if we are talking about the United States of America and all the companies to the private that can just give a phone call to their grandmother if she is in New York, but if their grandma is in Los Angeles, they were not allowed to call in Los Angeles. They were not allowed to call abroad of the States. All of this happened only because two young hacking teams have a fight together, and under all, there were also X25. Osishin, Electron, and the Force and Phoenix has been the first guys in the world to build an automated scanner for X25. It used to run on a system that is called Prime OS or Paramount is very old now, of course. In the 90s, Kevin Mitnick got the SAS. Who knows what the SAS is? SAS was an incredible, nice tool that let an attacker, as Kevin Mitnick and Kevin Poulsen there were at the time, to freely intercept on all the telephone switches of California. So, for example, they've been able to intercept the FBI, and they discovered that the FBI were intercepting on their own the Chinese and Russian embassy in New York, but they had no authorization at all to do this. It is funny, in my opinion, that two hackers have been able to discover a bad thing performed by the good guys, the FBI guys. In the 90s, again, we have now many new scanners available for all the kind of operating system around. And in the 19 again, Kevin Poulsen was able to play with the CO. The CO is the telephone central office, so the CO of your area of the town, via HITBSecConf2005, and to reconfigure or abuse of all the freaking stuff that Poulsen was so cool and able to do. In 1984 and 95, AT&T, GTA, and other major United States telcos got hacked. I put that parenthesis over there because I had a part in this hacking specifically, and that's why, as Anthony as well, they told me that I'm not a good person to come anymore to the United States of America, even if it is since 10 years ago, but it's the same as you. In the recent years, we do also have the ADM group that released until he created the HITBS25 ADM scanner, and in recent years, to be more clear to you here, it means in 2003, somebody, let me say somebody, has written a multi-thread and multi-channel HITBS25 scanner for Sun Solaris. What does it mean? That before a multi-thread and multi-channel scanner, to scan, for example, a country like Italy, it would need a month or so. Actually, with a multi-thread and multi-channel scanner, in a few hours, a whole country can be scanned via HITBS25. Last news, in this last 2 years, there is a lot of bad guy activity on HITBS25, especially from Russia, because they scan in international reverse charge mode. So they don't pay for it, and they are just looking for big multinationals based on also in Russia and ex-former Soviet Union countries around there. Then we have some souvenir. The first on the top is when I hacked into AT&T. AT&T was cool because, as you may see from the banner, it is AT&T Mail. So it means what you are thinking of. I hacked into the worldwide mail system of AT&T. It was really funny because AT&T is, as you may know, the biggest ever telecommunication carrier worldwide, and AT&T is located everywhere in the world. So it was so easy from AT&T US, have an HITBS25 jump and finish to AT&T Egypt or AT&T Bahrain or whatever. The second one is to show you that even if Inmarsat has got their own DNIC, that is 1111, we could be able also to call Inmarsat via Saudi Arabia, because some guys from Inmarsat, they decided to put a land Earth station over HITBS25 for sure, but in the Saudi Arabia DNIC that is 4201. Also, this is, I have to disclose it to cover it, but the DNIC is from Australia, again, as I showed you before, and I obscured anything that can let you understand who is the telecommunication operator over here, but it's clear that if they say, please note all customer details are confidential and must not be disclosed, I can understand two things. First, you should be a telco. Second thing, the system I'm going to hack should contain the customer details that they want to keep confidential, but they are not able to do this. Difference with X25 and the internet, actually. In X25, as you may have understood, all the X25 addresses are not public at all. It's not like on IP on the internet that you can go to internet site and look up for a company and you have the correspective IP address. All the addresses I show you here and before, they are reserved completely. So an X25 attacker only he performs X25 scans to find his targets and address he wants to hack to, but it's not so easy. As I say, I will open the yellow page, look for AT&T, and I will have the one to attack. No, at all. You have to lose time and nights to discover your own X25 address you want to attack. On X25 network, it is so true that a single X25 address can open to you a completely new world. Why? Because, as you may have understood, there are not the small companies on X25. X25 is expensive, X25 is an old technology, so who was so rich, let me say, to have an international data network in the 80s? Not for sure a small souvenir shop, but a big multinational or so on. So when you call ANUA and you enter in that system, you usually on the back office you will find a wide network to explore. Third point, on X25 there is not the TCP/IP stack, of course, so you don't have the concept of exploiting. This is to say that to attack on X25 you use old school and you use other techniques and going to comment you. But I wrote also a kind of, because in my research team we have been able to do a particular thing. I think that we've been able to validate the first exploit for X25. We realized it in 2004. If you remember about the remote telnet Solaris exploit on IP, on TCP/IP, after 6 months of research we have been able to create a porting to X25. So we got an exploit that is working on X25 for Sun Solaris. The bad thing is that the Sun Solaris systems connected to X25 are very important stuff. They are always on production environments, so the owners can't patch the Solaris for the most common bugs. And this is so bad for the corporate security, it's so good for the attackers, of course. So, on X25, fourth point, to attack a system, you start with brute force for forcing attacks on the login, and I can assure you that it always works a lot. Old school hacking as well, you may also use social engineering or your brain smartness to hack onto X25. It is also true that there are a few X25 walkers, as I call them. So you will not find, when we are talking about X25 hacking or intrusions, the kiddies, the noise guys, or the one that plays. You will only and always find high-level attackers, very paranoid. To be more clear, they are not the kind of attackers that they love to do a defacement. There are the kind of attackers that have a very low profile. They don't like to show, and they don't especially like the owners of the system to realize they are in. And as well, there are a few X25 experts in the world as well, of course. We are a few around. This is to give you an idea, the flow that we use in professional pen testing for when we have to verify a system connected to IS-25. So we start with a scanning, and then we try to see if the node that we've been able to find accept or not calls from anywhere, or if they ask for a sub address, if they ask for some specific password to be injected in the IS-25 address. From there, we try to design the topology of the IS-25 network area. Then we will do what we call IS-25 network integration survey. It means that, as I said to you, IS-25, let's see it as the main bridge to a new world. But as you enter in this world, there will be TCP/IP stuff, IS-25 over TCP/IP, so XOT, or even maybe some VMS or Ultrix stuff from the digital equipment corporation stuff on IPX, on voice over IP, and all the. It's only to go there, open the door, and play and enjoy with them. Then, of course, we will try also our reverse charge test from here. It will start, I am here. The brute force attack part of the attack, and so on, all the common attack paths that you may see also in TCP/IP. Targets on IS-25. As I just said to you, all the IS-25 clients, what happened? Hello? Machine in order to look for other new targets. So this means that the money will be billed to the owner of that system from where they perform a scan. What else? Services that are one on IS-25 to give you some ideas. We have all the telco stuff, the COs and the telephones which as Nick and Pool send they show to us. GSM and 3G. Every time you send an SMS, 90% of the time it's over IS-25. I'm going to show to you. Bank to bank, all these SWIFT payments or the POS, the point of sales, in many countries of the world are still on IS-25, and they are actually implementing the migration to the IP world, or they prefer to use XOT again and save some money and not hardly modify too much the infrastructure that they have. Other good thing is that all the chemical and pharmaceutical company they are on IS-25, and of course all the corporate, the big ones that have a worldwide HQ and then the local HQ and the single branches worldwide. They are the preferred clients for IS-25 networks, and so they are as well the major target for IS-25 attackers. I have maybe something to show you. This is an SMC, for example, running on VMS. An SMC, as you may see, is the short message service center. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you have an idea? I guess yes. SMC is the machine that receives your SMS from the phone and send the SMS to Jim, for example. If we want to do Zoom, this is a log of who sent the SMS until to and when. This is from a pen test we performed in 2004, the last year. So as I'm just showing to you that even in 2004, the last year, there were no, I'm sorry, this 2003, there was and there still is SMC connected to IS-25 worldwide. Other nice thing to show, this is the processing queue of the SMS. So we got all the, it's kind of a syslog, let me say, of the process that is processing all the SMS. we are going to the end. SMS is sniffing in real time. This can be really so funny, because through X25 and thanks to X25, you could be able to intercept all the SMS that Fabio is going to send to her girlfriend. Is it nice? Attacker typology, a few words on this. As I was saying to you, we got the newbies on X25, so it's typically from Russia and South America. They don't know so much about X25. They love this weird, strange, old school thing, and they just scan and scan and scan. But if they find the systems that they know and they understand, they will even try to hack into. If they find a VMS, if they find a strange old stuff, they will not be able to attack it successfully. Then we have the lonely attackers. I call them in this way. They may also be the old school hackers. They are the ones that love to hack alone. They don't work in teams or in groups. They don't trust the other guys, basically. Then we have elite hackers. I call them la crème. They should be the best one around, and they usually are still on X25 because they love to show themselves that they're able to hack into big stuff. And then we have all the bad guys. Let's say a bank on X25, but then you must have an insider to understand how to abuse of all the procedures and the tools that runs on the machine. Industrial spies and intelligence agencies, they love X25, and they always do this because, again, of the targets they are able to find them. Then I add also at the end the cyber terrorists with a question mark. I've never seen until now of a terrorist using X25. I think because the technology is too old and the cyber terrorist stuff is too new. But I'm pointing out to you that this may be a new issue in the future if the really bad guys will discover that there is not only the internet that is connecting critical systems all around the world. A show of the many strange OS that you are able to find on X25. I don't know if you ever heard about the CDC or DRS-NX, the GS1, the HP3000, and so on. These are many of the operating systems that is so easy to find around. I bolded the pick because to me it's so funny. Does somebody knows the origin of the PIC OS? The PIC has been developed by a guy from South Africa that his name is Dick Pick. That's not a joke, it's for real. Dick Pick created the PIC OS. I've been able to find the PIC OS and he started to sell it around. It is so funny and so wild to discover. So thanks me, Mr. Dick Pick. Huh? You are. So to give an end to you, on STF we performed a 5 years survey, and these are the band numbers that we discovered around. 1% only of the top the target could be considered secure or somehow not penetrable by X25. If you compare it to other ways of attacking, this is really bad. The items of today I have to run. So telcos and mobile operators and all the others, all of them, they got their specific security issue, and this could be the fraud that could be perpetrated by an attacker over X25 that, I repeat to you, is still very attractive. I have to run. I'm So I'm sorry. Last thing. We were talking about a security issue that is really underestimated for sure. As I was telling to you, all the clients, they seem to forget about their IS-25 dedicated links. Even closed countries that open to the internet only in the last years, as can be Iran or China, they still have their IS-25 stuff. And then we have some weird countries, as in India, that if you call a specific IS-25 NUA, they are so kind to be your IS-25 yellow page and to give you the list of all the customers they have on IS-25. And they say so bad because I explained to you IS-25 addresses should be reserved and undisclosed. Or it may happen to you that you are doing a port scan over Inmarsat and you find an alive system that is an airplane over the ocean. This is true also. I will show it to you. This is IranPAC. I took this years ago from the original source, let me say. So this is the infrastructure of IranPAC. This is the data, but I prefer to not modify it and to show to you the true and the original only price that I took in the past. As well, this is India, so you call this system, and they are so kind to tell you all the IS-25 address of the company that is called ACC or Anandat Bazar Patrika and so on. Or, as I was telling to you, this is the explanation of how it's possible to scan over or AOR the W satellite, and this is the technology that is able to make the plane over the air to talk to the ground bases of each airport in the world. This is so bad. Then at the end it is also possible, of course, to find the bad guys, to intercept on the bad guys. This is an IS-25 security trace, or you prefer, is a sniffing over IS-25 to see in real time what the bad guys were trying to do and how. Final stuff, take care when you go around asking for IS-25 consulting, because the traditional security shops, let me say, they don't know anything about IS-25, they don't understand the telco specific security issue. The traditional telco consultant, in my opinion, they don't have a big know-how of source to TSTF or the others of you their job, so maybe they're not the most smart ones to go to ask and to pay 3 times more for to having the same result. And in-house resource is 25 links. That's your question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I performed the last year in a GSM mobile operator and IS-25 security auditing. And if you don't have to be scared, but remember that even if you are on your own private IS-25 network, it is anyway possible to perform some specific attacks, like it can be IS-25 spoofing. So if you, it depends from your own environment, I can say to you. We don't have any more time, but if you want me to answer more after, as I go out, I can have some good thing to show you or to explain to you to answer more in detail. Okay? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raoul.
Thanks to you. Because the traditional security shops, let me say, they don't know anything about IS-25, they don't understand the telco specific security issue. The traditional telco consultant, in my opinion, they don't have a big know-how on source to TSTF or the others of you their job, so maybe they're not the most smart ones to go to ask and to pay 3 times more for to having the same result. And in-house resource is really so dangerous. I have to run again. So at the end, I can just say to you that doing nothing with your IS-25, your packet switch data network today, is exactly the same thing when in the 90s, they did not, with the internet issues, so no firewalls, we don't care, it's okay, we are all friends, let's talk together, or in the Wi-Fi in 2000. How many hackers may be already played in your environment and you never realized it before, until now, I hope. If we think about doing nothing in critical environment, so my opinion, all the above is an invitation for the disaster. And I would like all of you, I was mentioning you before the QZ, underground also is really good, and other references for you to study. I have greetings at the end, all of my is 25 gurus and friends, the telcos, of course, for being there all over these years, and all the in the box staff for this great security event. Thank you a lot. If you want to email me for further questions or so on, it's okay to me. I will answer to anybody always. And I hope you enjoy this nightmare. Thanks so much. If you have questions, I'm ready to answer to you. Thank you.
What are possible attack vectors once I'm connected? Would the box attached to the network be running some kind of services, or does it come down to basically old school password guessing?
It is 90% is old school password guessing. So when you call a system, you have like I show with you here. Let me go back. Username and password. But in the 10% of the cases, you may have a running service on the other side. The bad thing is that you don't have all the nice TCP/IP suite, so you can't try to trick and understand and inject and so on. And you will just try to see what the remote machine is trying to set.
Does it come down to basically old school password guessing?
It is 90% is old school password guessing. So when you call a system, you have like I show with you here. Let me go back. Username and password. But in the 10% of the cases, you may have a running service on the other side. The bad thing is that you don't have all the nice TCP/IP suite, so you can't try to trick and understand and inject and so on. And you will just try to see what the remote machine is trying to send to you or to ask to you, and you will just try to satisfy her in one way or in the other.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Other questions? Yes, one over there.
Thanks for a good presentation from you.
Thank you.
My question is, how about frame relays attacking or hacking? According to is there similar things to the frame relay? Could you explain on it?
Are you asking me which could be a
frame
way?
relay? Frame relay.
Well, you're talking about private is 25 links. Okay, that's your question?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I performed the last year in a GSM mobile operator and it's 25 security auditing. And if there is 25 private network is not connected at all with public is 25 is okay from the attacker's point of view. I mean, you don't have to be scared. But remember that even if you are on your own private is 25 network, it is anyway possible to perform some specific attacks, like it can be is 25 spoofing. So if you, it depends from your own environment, I can say to you. We don't have any more time, but if you want me to answer more after, as I go out, I can have some good thing to show you or to explain to you to answer more in detail. Okay? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raoul.
Thanks to you.